ladies and gentlemen, to another BTNeanderthal video. Today we're going to be talking about the assassin, but a very particular assassin that has been requested as of recently, and I've been talking about quite a bit on the recap videos and stuff like that. This is the Death Sentry Trap Assassin. So I feel like I've had pretty good experience on this now. I've been playing this build for like 2, maybe 3 weeks even. I don't know. This thing's crazy. Super efficient build. And ultimately, I'll just show you really quick the entire skill tree. Very simple, starting with Shadow Disciplines. I just go 1 point at everything, except for Fade and except for Venom. You could go Fade. You don't have to. I usually use Burst of Speed. I calculate that into my IES breakpoints. So, with all that being said, very simple there. Then we move over here. Now the most important thing is Death Sentry and its synergies. As you can see, we have Fire Blast, Wake of Fire, and Charge Bolt Sentry. Now, we max those out first, those synergies first, and then we move in to Wake of Inferno as your dump skill, aka the remaining points that you have go into Wake of Inferno. And the reason why you go Wake of Inferno here is because you're actually using Wake of Fire to get your first kill and start that domino effect of the Trap Assassin. As far as the points go, it's always pretty much the same thing here. Just enough strength in order to run your gear, enough dexterity to run your gear as well, which in this scenario is just going to be the flail. It requires 35 dex, but I have 45 in there just because it adds 10 dex, and if I have lower, it bugs off when I swap, etc, etc. So the rest goes into vitality, and you're good to go as far as the attributes and skills now. As far as the gear that I'm running right now, you can swap this gear out however you want. If you want to do more damage, you can drop some MF. This build, as you can see, like right here, we have 535 MF. Definitely not required. Super overkill. But the build still plays well. So I have a lot of MF. As you can see, we got Chances with 40. It also has like Corruption here with faster block. None of the Corruption really matter. I'm just going to go over what I got. So we got Hodo. We got Shaco. 3 traps. I actually have a 2 assassin amulet, but ultimately, plus the skills in this build really help it out quite a bit. Lidless wall. You could go, also another option is, say you don't have Hodo or lidless wall. Like, you could actually run 2 plus 3 trap claws. Or you could get, you know, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, or crazy corruption plus 7 claw in each hand. So, you know, you have options. Ultimately, like, you know, super early in the ladder or your first character. This honestly I would recommend, you know, as being one of your first characters, at least your first mappers. It's very strong. But again, the plus skills really help here. So, like I said, claws could also replace these. We got Wartravs, just for the MF. We got Naggle for the MF. We got another Naggle for the MF. And we got more MF. But the thing that's special about this gold wrap is it gives us 30 IES, which means we don't need to wear anything else with IES to hit another breakpoint once we're running Burst of Speed with a flail for laying down traps. On swap, we got the classic lidless wall plus CTA. We just got charms here with MF, res to max out my res and stuff. And then everything else is just trap skills. This is all I've found so far. I got 5 trap skills. And we got a sick, nasty assassin torch that we got a few weeks ago. Really nice torch. And then just the more res. So, I'll give you a quick showcase of some map things that you need to know and take note of. When you're rolling a map, you want probably 125 density or more, is what I've noticed. Higher is better, and the reason being is because you're killing more dudes with your death sentries, and it allows that snowball effect or domino effect to keep going. And if the density's low, then it doesn't go well. Doesn't go very well. Doesn't transfer over to the next pack very well. So density is good. So this, however, is something you really do not want. And there's 3 reasons. Succubus are rough. You do not do as much damage to Succubus as you would want to, and they just end up wrecking you or being in the way or slowing your run down. Succubus, not good. Increased maximum life is terrible for corpse explosion, so don't do increased maximum life maps, even if it's just 5%. And then fire absorb, literally the worst because it takes some of your damage and it doesn't do anything. If the monsters have high enough fire res, it theoretically could heal them. It's terrible. So those 3 stats, terrible, do not use. Something like this is what you're really looking for. Just any stats that doesn't have those, and it's like 148 monster density. You can even run ghosts. Cows are actually not that preferred. You can run them no problem. It's just they're a little tanky for this build, and it's hard to kill them with Death Sentry really easily. So I'll give you a quick showcase of this build now. I have done a couple like timed runs with the build, and I've been able to kill. Again, I don't have Infinity. What you would want to do, actually, we'll go over the Merc here real quick. It's nothing crazy. I'm just running Insight and keeping him alive with Vamp Gaze, Shaft Stop, and then we got like, you know, Laying Hands, Nosferatus, Gore Riders. But we just want him alive to keep us full and capped off on the mana. Infinity would be better, yes, but we don't have that yet. So definitely recommend that if you have the opportunity. So as soon as we get the first kill, we literally pretty much just stop. We stop using Wake of Fire and we swap over to Death Sentry. Another thing you can do is like kind of cast your Shadow Master a little bit farther ahead of you, so that way it'll pull more mobs and try to get that domino effect going. So it's like you just basically cast Wake of Fire here and there. Ultimately it's like situational. The best way to play with it is situational. But if you want to do like 1 Death Sentry, 1 Wake of Fire, 1 Death Sentry, 1 Wake of Fire, etc., you could do something like that, or 2 and 2, whatever you want to do to make it easier until you get used to it. But ultimately, you know, the best thing you could possibly do is just, you know, only use Wake of Fire when you feel like you need to actually kill something. That won't be killed by a corpse explosion. This is one of the builds where, like, the faster you go, the faster it goes. The more damage you do. So, rejuves are really important for this build too, because you're actually going to be taking a lot of damage by running into packs. The boss on this map, for example, like, isn't the best. You can, what I usually do for the boss is I pull a bunch of mobs around near the boss and then start corpse exploding and hoping that the skeletons die, like his minions die next to him. So that way, like, we can just use those corpses as well, which do big damage. And on top of that, they won't be revived, which could be super annoying. But you can kill the boss pretty consistently with at least 38, you know, points in a Death Sentry. The decent amount of plus skills here. Build is super efficient, not that expensive either, and can get better with more plus skills, more trap skills. Also, like I said, if you go for the claws, like really crazy claws, or get infinity, those are some ways that you can really help. Now, I've only pretty much done tier 1 maps. I have done a couple tier 2 maps with this build. The issue with tier 2 is it's kind of hard to keep the flow going when there's fire immunes. Now, I know that there will be almost no fire immunes when you have infinity on tier 2s, and once I get infinity, I will probably be running tier 2s. Just because the way that this build works is like, I think it would really benefit, you know, narrow corridors where you just get to keep, you know, blowing up stuff over and over again. So, because you have to, on this map, kind of like herd things over near the corpses and stuff in order for it to work. But anyways, that's pretty much the build. I find this build a ton of fun and highly recommend it. I don't know if it's going to be this strong in Season 2. I don't necessarily like, it is a very efficient farmer, but I don't necessarily think that it needs to be straight up nerfed. Like hard, maybe slightly. It doesn't need to be buffed, I'll put it that way. You know, in order to get it to look like something like this, I am at 38 skills. And 38 skills is no slouch either. But yeah, more things for Slamdenify chat. Look at this. We got Goblin Toes, we got V-Gaze. I mean, heck, you know what? We'll idea for now, chat. Just because we're doing a guide. Let's do it now. Yeah, look at this, chat. Look at it. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. This build's a lot of fun. Alright, here we go. Let's ID some stuff. 8, 8, 18 with 15. That's almost perfect. Almost. And then we have Terror Bad roll. Absolutely garbage. So bad. Thunder Maul, terrible. And this is just an item for my grail, because I don't have an ethereal Breverts. But anyways, thank you all for watching and hanging out. 39 ED Jewel, nice. Hopefully you enjoyed the build and the showcase of what I've been doing. But again, dude, you run like, see on this map, 726 MF. Crazy. It's actually crazy. So, and that's because the map has almost 200 MF on itself, and then I have 500 MF. So, I was thinking about swapping out the Nagel ring, honestly, for SOJ and stuff to get more damage and faster clear speed. So, it's up to you. But anyways, that's the showcase. Much love, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. You guys are beasts.